What a perfect way to start the stream. That's me. That's me. That's my voice. Hello, I am Darcy Bits. This is twitch.tv/DarcyBits, and we are back in Final Fantasy XIV. This time, showcasing the part of the game that's actually my favorite part of the game, which is the fishing. Now, I did really enjoy the fishing quest. I think it's one of the best structured quests in the game, but really, I'm known mostly for really loving the ocean fishing, which is not what we're doing today. See, recently, you should definitely check my YouTube for my End of A Realm Reborn post-content video. I finally made it to Heavensward. I've been playing this game for quite a while. Not as long as... I'm relatively new, but that's still years. And I've just made it to Heavensward, which... You know, it opens up the map, lots of cool new stuff to see and do, and what it really meant for me was higher quality fishing gear. So you can see my sweet new duds. I'm ready to do some fishing, which is very exciting. Now, the other exciting thing is that at the end of A Realm Reborn, after you finish the fishing quest line, the actual class quest for fishing, you get asked, hey, do you want to do the side quests where you find ridiculously rare fish? Now, I have no idea how anybody actually did this way back in the day, but we're going to be using tools to find them. And lo and behold, 2 fish that we need have a window appearing right now. Well, sort of. One after the other, luckily. And by a window, I mean... These fish only appear at certain times of day when certain weather criteria are met. And that is happening for us right now, right here. So I will sort of explain what's going on as we go. But generally speaking, the window is going to actually open in about 7 minutes, according to my countdown on my overlay that you can't see. And the reason that we're here ahead of time is that we can accrue some stacks of what's called Angler's Art. Angler's Art is kind of like cheater mode that they added recently into the game. By which I mean, until a few patches ago, it just wasn't part of the game at all. Fishing was just kind of harder. I don't think they even like rearranged things so that it's different. It was just harder. And Angler's Art is whenever you catch a large fish, which is a tight, like a category, a meta category of fish, not like actually a fish over a certain size or anything. Large for its variety, let's say. You get a stack of Angler's Art, which you can then spend on special abilities. What we're looking for is the special ability Makeshift Bait, which reads, allows the execution of mooch even with average-sized fish. Mooch is the ability to say, hey, I've got this fish, I'm going to throw it back in, and I'm going to catch a bigger fish that's going to basically use the fish I just caught as bait. But that is only available if you actually, it's only available if you catch a large-sized fish normally. So right now you can see that I'm spending my GP to use Patience to increase my chances of getting large fish. And I want the large fish so that I can get Angler's Art. But this is what we're looking for. Full Moon Sardine let us actually mooch. It will let us get the fish we're looking for. We're not going to bother mooching right now because we're not actually looking... Like, the fish we're looking for is not here currently. So, not super relevant. As you can see. But that's what it would be if we were, if the window had opened. So, again, just going to ignore that. What we really want to do is make sure that we're not missing out on these buffs. We got the Angler's Fortune. Chance of landing large-sized catch is increased. And that's this when this thing hits 0, we'll need to use our GP again. And as you can see, I'm very low on GP. In fact, it costs 200 GP to activate Patience, which increases the chance of hitting large-sized fish. And it also costs an additional 50 GP for every catch you'd make while you have that buff on. So you need to even though you accrue your GP back pretty quickly, you need to be aware of that. There are ways of getting extra GP, but we're not worrying about it right now. We're just going to let it naturally come back to us. We still have 4 minutes before before the window opens, which is plenty of time to, try for patience again. And also, just naturally casting your line, you have a decent chance of getting large-sized fish, right? It only increases the chance of large-sized fish being found. You always have a baseline chance of doing it, which I believe is based off of, my perception stat? I have never really paid a huge attention to the stats. And there you go. It's a large-sized fish. Didn't even need the patience for it. So this is what we'll be doing for a while. We're just going to be fishing. Unfortunately, it's kind of overcast. It says the skies are fair, which is different than clear skies, but it looks cloudy to me. Whoo, baby. But that's okay. Not a big deal. So right now, I haven't mentioned this, we're going for the Endoserus, or Endoserus. I don't know how it's pronounced, but that's what we're looking for. It's supposed to be in this location, and you mooch them off of those full moon sardines that you've seen us sometimes be offered a mooching opportunity. So that's what we're going to be going for, and that's great. What we want to do is have at least 5 stacks of makeshift bait by the time the window opens. So I will be using patience once more. You could say, well, don't you need large-sized fish? Shouldn't you just save your patience for the thing? And maybe, but at very least, you want to make sure you're spending it so that you can regain it, right? If I'm at max GP, that's just wasted regen. So at very least, that's what I would recommend. Now, if you're someone who's not, keen to fishing, you might not see what makes this interesting. I haven't talked much about the mechanics of it. A lot of fishing games have very intricate systems of fishing, and you have to, make sure you're catching properly, and then you reel, and then something happens, and then another thing happens, and it's this whole shenaniganry. And that's cool. That's good for them. But this game's actually very simple in fishing, and I like that a lot. It's really about preparing properly, getting to the place that you need to be, and then just being consistent, being determined, making sure you're using your certain buffs, but otherwise, not so much. Now, here's something interesting. We have the full moon sardine currently on our line. We are allowed to hold it as long as we want, and when we cast, that I've heard, at the time of the recast, the mooch, that is when that will matter, right? That is when it'll determine if we can catch the fish we're looking for. So instead of actually casting this back and trying to accrue more stacks of angler art, I'm probably better off actually holding on to this mooch because it's just one extra mooch that I don't have to bother with later. So that's exciting. We have about 40 seconds before the window will open. With that, I would like to double check some other situations. Let me think. There's a few things I wanted to check on. So sound is going to cut out for a second. Yeah, opening in about 17 seconds. Just a normal mooch is required. Nothing fancy. Very, very good. So, 10, 9. Now, the question I have to ask myself is, do I want to wait a little bit longer just to make sure this mooch actually counts? So, says it's open, beautiful, and mooch. Now, what we're doing here, you might have noticed a few different buttons flashing on screen. And maybe they're cut off by my overlay, I'm not really sure. But there's the normal cast, just like, you cast your line, and then you hook whatever you find. But there's 2 others. There's precision hook set and powerful hook set. And these, they're grayed out. We can't even use them right now, because the only thing they do is they mitigate the downside of patience. Patience gives us a higher chance of hitting a large fish, but it doesn't change the ability to... but it also reduces the chance of us catching a fish at all. which seems like a pretty bad deal, except you can use precision hook set and powerful hook set to mitigate that chance of nothing happening. We're not doing that right now because we're going to use makeshift bait instead to just not even need a large fish, which is the plan. Also, we're using spoon worms. That is just the best bait for hitting full moon sardines without hitting anything else. So, yeah. We want to make sure that any other options in the water don't even come up. They're just like, not going to happen. Now, once we start mooching, right, we're going to hit something other than full moon sardines probably, because there's other targets to hit besides the Endoserus that we're looking for. Yeah. So we're just going to keep casting, and bait isn't the problem, right? Bait's cheap enough. You just spend your money on bait, and it's fine. Probably over a pretty long haul, you might consider fishing as a kind of an expensive hobby in game, because it adds up. It totally does, but I guess it depends on what you're spending that money on. Otherwise, you're not actually spending like millions of gil or anything. But it is interesting how much it sort of like adds up. And this is just time. This is just like seeing how long it takes. I'd be curious to know if there's any other fishers hanging out doing stuff. The last time that I did this, I was looking for, I think it's Caravan. I'm not looking up the name for it right now. And in the middle of fishing, I looked up and I noticed that someone else was fishing the same spot. And I ran over to them and I waved and I continued fishing, which was probably a waste of time, but whatever, it was fine. And they were like, "Hey, cool, are you working on the Caravan?" And I was like, "Yeah, I totally am." And they're like, "Cool, cool, cool, good luck." And I was like, "Thank you," which was very fun. So that's how that works. After the makeshift bait buff ends, you can probably it's cut off for you, but it's got like 5 seconds left right now. We'll switch back to patience to accrue more stacks and also have the chance of getting large size fish during that time. So basically anytime we see the 2 bangs like that, the 2 exclamation marks, I call them bangs, we know it's not the fish we're looking for. You could choose to ignore it instead. It's totally a legitimate choice. Some people do. I've largely heard that it is about the same time to hook the fish as to ignore the fish. So I just hook it. I just feel like I might as well. Now there, I accidentally used the wrong hook. I just used normal hook instead of the special hook set. Which it only reduces the chance of landing the fish. It doesn't actually negate it entirely. So even though I accidentally didn't use the proper hook set, still landed it, totally fine. In fact, I saved myself 50 GP. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Oh, that's the thing. This is the one. The question is, do we land it? And it looks like we're gonna. I think we got it. No, we don't. Back in the water with you. That's not what we're looking for. What? Didn't I already catch a Coelacanthus that was only 2 bangs? Coelacanthus is a king among coelacanths. Oh, okay. So we caught Coelacanthus instead of coelacanth. I'm a little worried that I'm in the wrong spot. I really want to check my stuff, but if I go check my stuff, that's time I could be fishing. So, yeah. I'm going to just have to commit to this and hope it's correct. As I said before, the first time I was doing this, I ended up catching basically 2 in a row. There was the Caravan, which was just go there, mooch properly, be at the right time, and then Kuno the Killer, which was much more complicated. By complicated, I don't necessarily mean complicated exactly, but it wasn't straightforward in as much that you have to catch a specific fish, which activates Fisher's Intuition, and then you're allowed to even catch the other fish, the one you're actually going for, Kuno the Killer, which is very cool. I think that's really fun. And what was especially interesting about it is that the window for the intuition fish, the fish you need to catch for intuition, is a smaller window than the window for Kuna the Killer. So you have to catch that within the first like 20 minutes, and then it extends your time an additional 20 minutes, which is really cool, but also very nerve-wracking. So I thought that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that. And I'm sitting here being like, I don't think that I need any special Fish's intuition for this, but I mean, I've looked at the entry for Kuna the Killer on lots of different websites, and some of them mention it and some of them don't, and it's just like, I sure hope this is right. What you gonna do, right? It's just that's the game. Again, I think back to like how anyone ever figured this out to start with. Like, we're looking for Feast of Famine right here. This is the quest I'm doing. It says deliver living legends fished in Lenosia, the Black Shroud, and Tanalan to Wawalago. It doesn't tell you what those fish are. It doesn't tell you where to find those fish. It tells you nothing about the fish you're looking for. It is wild. Like, it's so weird. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, right? That's just okay. It's a shame my camera's not moving more. Just like, I feel like it'd be a bit more interesting. Also, like, fishing is sometimes super gorgeous. But not right now. Not today. Today it is dreary. It's clouds. Is it allowed to be clouds during this thing? Sometimes I would alt-tab during fishing. Right now I'm a little bit preoccupied on it being correct and doing things properly because... not because I'm streaming, but because... there's a very narrow window and I need to make sure I land it during this window. If I alt-tab and I don't see the bangs or I don't hear the bangs, I just will miss the chance to catch the fish I'm going for. And that's not great. Nobody wants that. So, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's funny. In the actual, like, playing of Final Fantasy XIV, I don't have, like, any hotkeys set up properly. I don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of click on stuff. It's really bad. But my fishing setup, I actually really like. My hand is in such a weird position. I hit Q and E for precision and powerful hook set, respectively. I hit 2 to cast and 3 to normal hook. And then 4 to mooch. I do generally click on patience itself properly, but and also the same for makeshift bait. So there's certainly more I could be doing, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. This will be our last fish from the patience, so I'll have to make sure I re-up that buff after this is over. Because I will not have enough Angler's Art to use makeshift bait. I'll have to use another patience at minimum. So that's fine. We will keep doing full moon sardines, of course, because that's what we're here for. I'm not just doing patience to get the buff so that I can use makeshift bait. The large fish is already enough. That's what, yeah. We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes on the Endoserus, so... It's going to be down to the wire, or not at all. I don't know which. Very, very scary stuff. That's not it. That's not the one. So we're gonna turn patience on, and we're gonna head out. We're just gonna keep casting. What? Oh, I hit the wrong button. Dang it. I hit sneak instead of patience. They're right next to each other. I don't know why I did that. Oh no. Oh no. We got 1:25 to land this. And I just messed up my, Nice. Cool. Saved myself 50 GP. I'll take it. Mooch. Oh, let's go. Dang it. Oh, I was thinking it was taking so long. I thought maybe because fish have different lengths of time that it takes for them to bite properly. Like it. Oh, I thought maybe that was it. It was such a long wait. I have 30 seconds left, so probably this is my last attempt. I need to get the full moon sardine, then I need to cast it back in, and probably that'll be it. Probably this will be the last mooch that I get an opportunity for. Good, I didn't miss the mooch. That's excellent. Now I'm pretty sure that if the time runs out before it bites, that still can be the Endoserus. I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's correct. That's not it. That's not it. Alright, so window is closed. We're now going to find the Endoserus as our other fish that's available tonight, happenstancially with my scheduled stream. What a shame.